Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Vande Guru Paramparam. Last class we saw where that 28th Yatra manyeta bhuyishtham pravrishiva trunodakam annapanam cha viprendra tajjiven nanu sanjvaret. And in that it was told where there is, no, this one was not. We saw the previous verse. The conduct of the wise is such that even his dears and nears are distant people and they do not recognize his greatness. That we talked about last week, and now 28th verse of the first chapter. Where there is plenty of food and water, as one sees plenty of grass and water in the rainy season, the wise man should stay in such place and sustain life. He should not torture his life through difficulties for food and water. So, bhiksha pe rehna chahiye, and that is why these Mahatmas, they keep parivrajak, we call them parivrajak. They keep moving from place to place where there is plenty available, where there is food available. Mainly there is food and the weather is conducive. They are not like us who are coming to extreme weather. They always try to move from place to place where there is conducive weather, conducive food, conducive circumstances, so that their mind is not disturbed by the elements because of food or because of weather. Yatra kathaya manasya prayachatya shivam bhayam atiriktamiva kurvan sashreyannetaro jana. Here in 29th verse he says, the society where all this wise man is quiet. No, the society where although this wise man is quiet, yet he is censured and condemned and insulted and never given any due respect, is an ideal place for him to live and not of other type. So he should surround himself where he is a nobody. Nobody gives him respect, nobody gives him reference, nobody looks up to him. That is the ideal place, because nobody will trouble him then. Otherwise, big queue will be there to get Ashirvad. The Ram Surat Kumar was like that only. Till he was not known, nobody used to go to him. They used to think he was a madman. And one day when he blessed and the Ashirvad came true, then now you see such a big ashram in Tiruvannamalai. And he became so famous. Rajnikant built the ashram for him. Yesterday I gave you an example of that Mahatma in Pune. He was also like that. And there are many like that. Belsare Maharaj was also not discovered. Initially he was very quiet. Only afterwards, towards his later years, he became very famous. Yo va kathaya manasya yatmanam nanu sanjvaret brahmaswam nopahanyad va tad brahmaswam nopahanyad va tadannam sammatam satam. Those people who do not torture mentally and do not become an obstacle for his spiritual practices, food from such people alone should be accepted by such silent seekers of truth. Yeah, I think we did this last week, in the last class. Yeah. So he should eat only from sattvic people, because all that affects, because food, when it goes in, it becomes the thoughts. So you eat tamasic food, you will have tamasic thoughts. You eat rajasic food, you will have rajasic thoughts. And you eat sattvic food, you will have sattvic thoughts. Just company is also same. You have tamasic company, you will start becoming tamasic. Rajasic company, rajasic, you will become rajasic. Same way sattvic also. So यहाँ पे just the food is told. And we talked about it last week. नित्यमज्ञातचर्या में इति मन्येत ब्राह्मणः ज्ञातीनां तु वसन्मध्ये नैव विन्देत किंचन. The wise man should think that let my spiritual practice remain hidden and unknown even to my nears and dears. He should not consider any one of them, including his body, as his essential nature. This also we did last week.
Yeah, we did.
Alright? Last class. This also we did. Ko hyevam antaratmanam brahmano mantumarhati nirlingam achalam shuddham sarvadvandva vivarjitam. The inner self which cannot be indicated, immovable, immaculate and free from all relativity. Who can know such a self objectively? Subject Bhagwan is not an objective pursuit. It is an internal pursuit. Divinity is an internal pursuit. It's a subjective pursuit. And many people are not able to distinguish between what is subjective and what is objective. Because of our habit of interacting with the world objectively, with our nears and dears objectively, with Kailash is also, we are searching, we have come to visit him objectively only. But while we are coming to him objectively, is our attention on the subjective self, because that Kailash is the subjective self within. So,
in line 36.
huh?
You did until 35, I think.
Achha.
You were in line 36.
36 we did.
36 is where I think we have to start.
So why didn't you tell me before?
I tried, but then we started.
Doesn't matter, we can stop in between. So how can we find him? So here we are in this one, vomit wala. Here we are bypassing in between verses because we have already done till 34. Ye yathavantam ashnanti bala nityam abhutaye evam tevantam ashnanti swaviryasyopa. Here he says, just as a child eats his own vomit, so also a wise person lives on the glory of his wisdom and thus becomes the cause of his own fall, as if he is eating his own vomit. In other words, he becomes proud, arrogant of his own goodness, of his own wisdom. And we see, this is Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the first chapter. Arjun's problem is the sattvic problem, and that is holier than thou attitude. Holier than thou attitude. I am better than the Kauravas. I don't want to kill. See, I am good. They want to kill. See, they are bad. And we are also like, we went to Kailash, you go back, you will get 2 horns because you have returned from Kailash. So he'll get 10. I'll get 20. So we have come back to Kailash. People come and fall at such people's feet. He's a Kailash return, like people go in other religions also. So don't let that get to your head. That is important. Anadhya manushe vitte adhya vedeshu ye dvija te durdharsha dushprakampya vidyatan brahmanas tanum. Those who are not prosperous in the worldly parlance but are rich in their spiritual wealth, they are steady and difficult to conquer. They should be recognized as the Brahman indeed. Yes, you have Raja Yogis like our Janak Maharaj, who was a king as well as Brahma Rishi. But there are many rishis who are not having the wealth, not having the kingdom. One person got, Dronacharya got the kingdom and he got the wealth also. And he immediately got corrupted because of that, and he brought about his own destruction. He was a wise man, but brought about his own destruction. And so the lesser we have, the lesser we possess, the lesser we are related to, the lesser we have the memories, the more nobody we are, wherever we are, nobody knows us, better is the steady wisdom in such a person, and he is unshaken by anyone or any circumstances. Sarvan swishtakruto devan vidyadya iha kaschana na samano brahmanasya yasmin prayatate swayam. Those who propitiate various gods for attainment of supernatural powers and put a lot of efforts for that, even those gods are in no way near this man of wisdom. Who are these people? They are the ones who do Reiki, they are the ones who do pranic healing, they are the ones who do little bit sadhana. I can give you techniques. 3 days you will have a siddhi. Serious, no jokes. Even now, in next 3 days, if you practice what I tell you, you'll siddhi will come. You got 5 days, 6 days to go back home. Do siddhi aa jayenge. But you have to be totally focused on it 24/7. But that becomes a means of subsistence. That becomes a means for name and fame. That becomes a means for the more siddhis they show, the more what do you call? Prasiddhi. See, when our Satya Sai Baba initially started, he says this is a calling card. But as the years went by, he kept doing less and less and less and less. And you see today, Madhusudan Sai, who was his servant or his sevak, Baba expressed through him. All the siddhis came. What Baba was expressing, all the siddhis expressed through him, including manifestation of Shivalinga. And when the third time he manifested the Shivalinga, he said, Baba has said, now no more. Now he's only teaching Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, scriptures, and doing the work. And he's saying, why am I doing it? I'm preparing it for Prem Sai, not for himself. See? Siddhis, once the sadhana begins, siddhi will automatically come. You experience it, but you just discard it like a vomit rather than hold on to it to that, don't mess with me, you don't know who I am. So here, and this is what we see in society. What do we see? Here it says, Yam prayatamanam tu manayanti samanitaha na manyamano manyeta na vamane anusanjvare. If some cultured people honor this man of realization, he should not mistake that I am being honored. Similarly, should not be disturbed on being dishonored. See, many people in the society you will see where there is siddhis, more people flock. After the realized master, very few people go. There are many in India, but they are unknown. They are living in incognito. And here, from the wise man's point of view, what is said, if someone praises him or insults him, he should remain undisturbed. And this was the first step in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Yama Niyama. Yama was what? Do not disturb anyone by thought, word and deed, and do not get disturbed by anyone's thought, word and deed. You are already a wise man. You don't need to do the next 7 steps. You are already there. And Loka Swabhava Vrittirhi Nimeshonmeshavat Sada Vidvaso Manayantiha Iti Manyeta Manitaha Adharma Vidusho Mudha Loka Shastra Vivarjitaha Na Manayishyanti Iti Manyeda Manitaha. The wise man should know that it is a natural tendency of the people, like blinking of the eye, that the wise people are respected, and if he is dishonored, he should realize that these are the ignorant fools who do not know how to conduct according to the scriptural traditions. Therefore, they will not respect the worthy wise men. So he should not judge, he should not pass an opinion, he should not expect anything from anyone, in simple words. Why? Bekuf, ignorant people behave like that. what to do. Sometimes they will, sometimes they will not. When they want something, they will come and put you on a pedestal. And when they don't want, they don't want anything, they will act as if they are very familiar, and they will not give you the same, the wise man, the same respect that he does not want it, but he should be given. न वै मानश्च मौनं च सहितौ वसतः सदा अयं मानस्य विषयो ह्यसौ मौनस्य तद्विदुः. Honor and silence never stay together. Honor is the field of the relative world, while silence is that of the absolute, which is known as Brahman. If see, many times some people are touching my feet, he comes and every morning he touches, others don't touch. Does it matter? Is he a better person because you are not touching, or you are a better person because you are not touching? Nothing it matters. It is your Shraddha, it is your Bhakti, it is your frame of mind. And you are benefited if you do the prayer to the Kailash or to a Swami or to a Mahatma, or you don't do it. But nothing happens to the Mahatma. He is ever nirlipt. Nirlipt means untouched. He should be that way. So, silence, our Anandmai Ma used to say, Dekho, suno, mat bolo. In Swamiji's thing also it is incorporated. So, when even wise people have the body and senses, see everything that is going on. Dekho, suno, listen to everything that is going on. But don't pass an opinion, don't pass a comment, don't pass even a passing remark. Sit quiet. Let things unfold. You did not start this creation. You are not maintaining this creation. You are not destroying this creation. It is all happening of its own accord. Don't get involved in it. Simple as that. And that is the way of the wise people. And how do they do it? Maunam, silence. That silence does not mean that I am not going to speak, that I am going to withdraw from the world. That silence means that silence which is unopposed to the sound or absence of sound. It is that silence which you must have felt in the ashram or in the monastery, or you must have felt when you are looking at Kailash. All the sounds of tractor, this, people, everything is going on, but you are in tune with the Kailash in front. Shrir hi manartha sambhasat sachapi paripandhini brahmi sudurlabha shrir hi pragyahine nakshatriya. O king, those who are engaged in the field of prosperity in the relative world, they are blessed with wealth, but that also is an obstacle in the path of realization. The spiritual wealth is extremely difficult for a man who lacks self-knowledge. So, the spiritual wealth is, so if you are looking at the physical wealth, the relative wealth, and what is the relative wealth? What is the relative wealth? Relative wealth is the worldly wealth. That is easy. If you focus on it, you can achieve it. Nothing is impossible to be achieved in this world. But for spiritual wealth, a different set of the spiritual wealth is extremely difficult for a man who lacks self-knowledge. Mere collection of library, mere going to Tirth Yatras, merely changing the color of cloth, merely becoming vegetarian or non-vegetarian, these are not the criterias for becoming spiritual. Buddhist people eat meat, but that does not mean from the background that we are coming, we start eating because Buddhists eat. But what we are trying to tell here is that if the self-knowledge has not taken place within, that you have a doubt-free abidance in the self, that I am that supreme reality. And how does this come? This comes without a thought. It doesn't come through a thought. Then no amount of listening to lectures, no amount of erudition, no amount of sadhanas, no amount of havan and pujas, no amount of rudrams and mrityunjaya mantras is going to bring anything. Self-knowledge is not going to come unless and until we are subjective while mrityunjaya mantra is going on. If I am subjective while I am giving this discourse, while I am subjective, then it's benefiting me. But if my attention is, I have to teach them, then lost. Plot is lost. Last verse. द्वाराणि सम्यक् प्रवदन्ति सन्तो बहुप्रकाराणि दुराचराणि सत्यार्जवे हीर्दमशौच विद्याः षण्मानमोह प्रतिबन्धकानि. The saints and sages describe many types of difficult gateways to enter the kingdom of spiritual wealth. They are truthfulness, second, straightforwardness, being humble, control over sense organs, external cleanliness and purity, knowledge. These 6 qualities are able to hold delusion back. This is same as yama, ahimsa, asteya, and so on. So truthfulness is satya. Satya, what is satya? If satya does not mean that you tell the truth all the time, but someone is dying and you go and tell him, hey, this near one has died. Maybe that person also dies by hearing that news. So you have to tell it in such a way that that person is able to handle it. Then second is straightforwardness. Arjuna was straightforward. What you see is what you get. Straightforward. No ifs and buts, no beating about the bush. Being humble, more the knowledge, more the humbleness. If you are committed to the truth, you have to be humble. Don't expect others to be humble. Control over sense organs. This is the Dhamma. Dhamma is see no evil, hear no evil, hear no evil, and so on. Keep them. How do you control your sense organs? Firstly, by not associating with such people who are taking you away from your purpose. Secondly, by क्या बोलते हैं, सत्संगत्वे निस्संगत्वे निर्मोहत्वम, isn't it? Satsangatve nissangatve. When you are in company of good people or of the truth, then automatically all nisangata, all that is untruth leaves you. And what happens when and what is that untruth? That is which is changing. What is changing? The world is changing. Then what happens? Nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatvam is delusion. This is how this topic began. Dhritarashtra asked, how do I remove delusion? What are the expressions of delusion? And that we saw as fear, desire and anger. Correct. So fear, desire and anger. So here it says, if you control over the sense organs, then external cleanliness and inner purity, that is shaucha. Shauch means cleanliness. People are, Baba used to say, infrastructure should be good, but infrastructure should be good. And that is the shauch. In India, intra is good, infra is pathetic. In Australia, infra is good, but intra is pathetic. We have to balance the two and move on. And then next is Gyan, the knowledge of the truth. We must continue to pursue. And when you pursue this, then these 6 qualities are able to hold delusion back. Delusion meaning its expression, fear of survival. Second, which leads to desire to survive, and which leads to, when things don't go your way, then anger comes, and again anger leads you back to delusion. Iti Shri Mahabharate Udyog Parvani Dhritarashtra Sanat Kumara Sambade Shri Sanatsujatiya Prathamodhyayaha. So with this we conclude the first chapter of the text which appears in Sri Mahabharata in the Udyoga Parva, and this is a discussion between Sri Dhritarashtra and the Sanat Kumara, and it is called as the Sri Sanatsujatiya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Just sit quietly and Lord, let these sattvic thoughts, good thoughts, chanted and heard in front of Lord Kailash benefit us and put us in the right direction.